Let's rank our 1966 movies. So you have what, a top three?
I have a top three. That's it. Yeah, but I like all three of the movies at least. Like I feel comfortable ranking them. So
Give us the Triple Crown.
I'll give you the Triple Crown. My number three is Batman the movie, which came out that year. Which I think is, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you know what? It just is. Adam West is great. It is enjoyable. My number two is Blow Up, which we talked about, which I think it has its issues, but I still think it's a worthwhile movie. And if you are a serious film geek, you should probably see it at least once. And then my number one, easy choice, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Tell me why so did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly not come out in America until 1967?
Never did it. I've never seen that trilogy.
You've never seen any of them? Wait, have you seen Once Upon a Time in the West? Are you telling me that the only Sergio Leone movie you've ever seen is Once Upon a Time in America? What's happening right now? That's crazy. Okay, well, here we go.
I know. I'm not proud of it.
Okay, I'm going to do mine now because I don't know what to make of that. I have three honorable mentions. Well, really just two, because we already covered the Battle of Algiers, and it came out in the States after this, but it came out in France in 66. So my two real honorable mentions are The Fortune Cookie, which is the first time that Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau got together. It's pretty fun. Lemmon plays a sports cameraman, a football cameraman who gets tackled on the sidelines and hospitalized, and Matthau plays his shyster lawyer brother-in-law who tries to get him a lot of money.
That sounds fun. I never knew what that movie was about.
Yeah, it's fun. And fun fact that we learned when we had the Random Acts of Cinema guys on our podcast, or maybe when we did their podcast, it has the same set as The Apartment, which is pretty cool.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot that.
And then my other honorable mention is Blow Up, which I don't like as much as the Batman movie, which I'll get to in a second. My number 5 of my top 5 is Seconds. This is a really cool movie. It's a John Frankenheimer thriller it's another movie about like what's real, what's not real, paranoid thriller, really indicative of like the kind of movies that people are interested in making at the time. It reminded me a lot of, it's not a political thriller, but same kind of vibe as The Manchurian Candidate, where it's just like, how much of this is just me being paranoid? Yeah, very cool. Highly recommend. Stars Rock Hudson. And I think it's the only Rock Hudson movie I've ever seen. Fun for me in that regard. My number 4 is the Batman movie. So just a little more info on this. It's Adam West's Batman, Adam West and Burt Ward. It's based off of the TV show that was on around the same time. And yeah, it's so much fun. Adam West carries a giant cartoon bomb to the water. There's shark repellent. I mean, so many like Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, shark repellent spray. It's got Cesar Romero as the Joker with his mustache just painted over. It's got Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, Eartha Kitt as Catwoman. I mean, this is a great movie. The UN, but not the UN. They're called something else. And it's not the League of Nations either. It's a fake name. Get dehydrated and turn to dust. And Adam West, and Batman and Robin have to rehydrate them. It's great. They have to get the fluids from the bad guys. Catwoman, Penguin, Joker, and Riddler team up. Oh my God. I'm just thinking about the way, the riddle that Adam West does to realize that it's the 4 villains all together. And at one point they're like, and this caper happened at C. C stands for Catwoman. This is the best movie of all time.
Adam West, man. I mean, R.I.P., man. What a gift.
For real. So I actually think the movie's a little, even though you have it in your top 3, I think it's a little better than you give it credit for, because it is better than Blow Up. At least it's like a movie watching experience. My number 3 is Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. If you can handle watching people be terrible to each other for 2 hours, I highly recommend it. It actually goes by pretty fast, especially compared to other Mike Nichols movies. He's done a lot of tough movies. I just watched Wit, which I know you love.
Yeah.
That's a rough one. You mentioned, earlier in this episode, you mentioned Emma Thompson is kind of flighty and whatever in the Harry Potter movies. Anything but in Wit, she's fighting cancer the whole time.
Devastating. I mean, she's so good in that. Yeah.
Yeah, hell of a movie. Remember when HBO used to make like cool concept movies?
Yeah.
Be nice if they brought that back.
I would love it. Yeah.
Number 2 is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, because I've seen it. It's great. So it's okay. You should see it though. Speaking of,
I know.
It's much funnier than people realize. Like, this is the one where Eastwood is like lightening up a bit. It takes place during the Civil War, and it's about people who don't care about the Civil War. It's great. Like, the Civil War just sort of like is a problem from them for time to time, but they're looking for treasure. It's really great. Everyone in it is wonderful. It's got a little brown face because, that was the time. Eli Wallach playing a Mexican, Lee Van Cleef playing a bastard. Amazing movie. And then my number one, I think I had actually recommended this for you first, but I thought there might be more to talk about with Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, is Ingmar Bergman's Persona, which is another
Yeah.
one I think you should see immediately. So this whole movie is basically just B.B. Anderson and Liv Ullmann at each other, and you wondering which one of them, if either, are real. Jake, you and I once did a watch together thing of Enemy, of Denis Villeneuve's Enemy, which is the male version of Persona.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The movies are very different, but this one's like a little slower, a little quieter. It's like two women on a beach trying to figure out if they're real. Also, this one's, I would say it's much more sexual, but there's a decent amount of sex stuff going on in Enemy. Very cool movie. My favorite movie of 1966.